Hi everybody, so we've had the first pre-order beta weekend for Icarus, and I think now we can really answer the question, what will Icarus be like to play when it comes out? What will be the gameplay loop that we have? Because we know now that Icarus is PvE, so it's player versus environment. It's a survival game. It will not be like DayZ or Rust, where you go down to the planet and you've got to worry about other people coming along and shooting you. Because what happens is, when you go down to the planet in what's called a prospect, you are in that area basically by yourself, unless you invite some Steam friends in with you, and then you can play together within that particular area. And in that particular area, the basic loop of Icarus is: go down to the planet, survive, level up your character, build bases so you can survive for longer, go prospecting for exotics, find the exotics, get back to the dropship before the timer runs out, and then get back up to the space station and sell your exotics and buy better gear so that you can then come down again. If you die while you're on the planet, it doesn't really matter, because your character will spawn back in, which is okay. However, you must not get left behind before the mission timer runs out. If you get left behind before the mission timer runs out, you lose that character and you lose all of the things you've earned in the talent tree and the tech tree. And really, a lot of the game is going to be about that. It's going to be about leveling up your character so you can take on the different biomes. So let me show you a little bit more about that. So during the beta weekend, we got to play around in the forest biome, and the developers turned off bad storms. So it was a relatively easy place to explore, to survive, to get used to the game, and to level up your characters. And I think this is key to the game. Each biome and each part of the biome will have a different level of difficulty, and your character will have to be leveled up to a different situation in the tech tree, and a different level set of skills as well. So I think the way it'll work is, you'll start off with your character on the space station. You'll come down to the forest biome, where it's relatively easy to survive. It's like Earth, basically. So you can run around and you can start leveling up. So let me show you what I mean. So this, for example, this is the talents tech tree. And this is only a part of it, but there's lots and lots of things here. So it's things like, I can carry more things in my inventory, I can run faster, I can craft faster, I have more health, all this sort of stuff. And it will go on to be things like, I can take more, I can be more resistant to damage, I can be more resistant to cold, that sort of stuff. And it is very, very in-depth. Okay, and then you also have the crafting tech tree, which again is very, very in-depth. And as you're playing the game, you start to level up, and you get points to unlock things in your tech tree, and you get points to unlock things in your talent tree. As you can see, that this is very in-depth. It's going to take a long time to level up your character. However, until you level up your character and get to a sufficient point where he's or she are tough enough and rough enough and skilled enough, and you can craft enough to take on the more difficult environments. So our fellow here, he's okay for, when he starts off, he's okay for the forest biome, but he won't be good enough to survive in the Arctic biome, because we haven't crafted the right clothes, we haven't got the right weapons, we haven't got the right tools or anything like that. So that's where we're starting to get the gameplay loop. So if, for example, we look, I know this is quite difficult to see, but we've got the basic version of Icarus that we're playing in the beta, and the basic version will come out. It looks like what it will be is, it will be the forest biome with the Arctic biome, those two maps. So you can have the forest bit where you start off and you start leveling up, and when you get a bit more powerful, you'll then have the talents and the kit to survive in the Arctic biome. So you'll be in the forest biome for a bit, you'll be prospecting. There probably isn't that much exotics to mine there, but there'll be plenty of opportunities to simply level up. Then you'll head back up to the space station, if you've got some stuff that you can sell, you'll sell it, and then you'll head on back down to the Arctic biome. And in there, it will be a tougher place to survive. It will be colder, the storms will be worse, there'll be more wolves, more bears, but there'll be more exotics to mine. So you'll have to be rougher and tougher. You go in there and you go back up. Now, then what's going to happen is we're going to have the release of the other biomes in the other DLCs. And you kind of see some pictures here on the website. So there's the space station we're on. That's the Arctic biome. There's this swamp biome here. Looks a bit like Dagobah on Empire Strikes Back. There's a bit of probably the desert biome there. That could be a different one. And also, if we look at the pre-order stuff again, you can't really see this, but the next two DLCs that are coming out are going to be, one's called New Frontier and one's called Dangerous Horizons. Let's see if I can see a better picture. Yeah, they haven't really got any better pictures to look at. But basically, you can kind of see a little bit more there. So what it looks like in the first cohort, as they call it, where we're going to have the forest biome and we're going to have the Arctic biome. You've got forest is the easier place to level up. Then you go to the Arctic, and it looks like Icarus. And there'll be the desert biome as well. Probably as well in the first cohort. And then we get New Frontiers. Now we're seeing with New Frontiers and then Dangerous Horizons, we're seeing different spacesuits that the people are wearing, and we're seeing different enemies and what looks like different environments. So I think the way it's going to work is Icarus, where we start off, with the forest biome, the Arctic biome, and the desert biome, it's pretty Earth-like, with Earth-like conditions and Earth-like animals, even though we can't breathe. But then when we get New Frontier and Dangerous Horizons, the terraforming on those parts of Icarus has gone even more wrong, and we'll see more dangerous alien-like enemies and alien-like environments. So you will have to leveled up your character even further to be able to take on these challenges, and undoubtedly there will be more exotics there. Now you may well be thinking, well, that's all good, but what happens if my character dies? Well, this is where the gameplay loop gets really cool, in the fact that you can have more than one character at the same time in Icarus. So in DayZ, when you've got a character and you're wandering around on the public servers, if you die, you start a new character, don't you? You can't have more than one at the same time, but in Icarus you can. So say you're playing, you're in the forest biome, you're running around, you level up a character, and you think, okay, well, I've learned a lot leveling up that character in the forest biome, and before I move on to the Arctic biome or the desert biome, somewhere that's more dangerous, I'll tell you what, because I know now how to level up much faster, because I know what I should be doing, let's start a new character who won't have any talents, who won't be anywhere on the tech tree, but because I can do it faster, I'll run around and then I'll get leveled up. So then you've got two characters. So you can send one down into the Arctic biome and you can have a game there. You can play in there on a prospect. And if you lose them because you miss a return trip, or there may well be some other permadeath things that come along, when Icarus comes out full, then you've got your other character. So you'll have this constant loop of going to the easier biomes to level up a character, and then having more advanced characters that you'll drop into the more dangerous places. Now, the other thing that's coming in as well are faction contracts. So apart from surviving, leveling up, and mining for exotics, we're also going to have the opportunity to do contracts. So the various powered factions, companies, and maybe governmental organisations that are in the Icarus universe are going to say, well, actually, we need you to go here and do this, or we need this bit from here. And it might be quite a dangerous thing to do, to go into a dangerous situation. And that's, again, where you go down, and then you'll be rewarded for that with some sort of credits, or maybe exotics, or maybe some special gear as well that you can then use. So that's kind of the gameplay loop that we've got for Icarus, and I think it's very exciting, because when you have such a complicated talent system, skill tree, and like a perk system, really, I mean, you don't want a situation where you work through all this stuff and it's going to take you many, many, many hours to get a character leveled up. If it's easy for them to just die like in DayZ, and then you lose all that ability. But also you need somewhere simple for them to be able to be able to level up new characters, and then you have a pool of new characters that you can use, because you may well find that you really enjoy hanging around in the forest biome and just building things. But I think it's very exciting the fact that we will have to have more characters. We'll have these different levels of difficulty. I guess in DayZ it would be a bit something like always hanging around near the coast versus heading inland to Tizzy or Northwest Airfield. You need to have a different level of gear, don't you? Now, the final thing actually as well that I wanted to mention about the gameplay loop is Outpost Levels. So, Outpost Levels, they're mentioned in the pre-order details. So for the deluxe version, so if you buy the standard version of Icarus for about £20, you get Icarus, which is going to be probably the forest, the Arctic, and the desert. And then if you buy the deluxe edition, you get the base edition. You get the 2 DLCs that are going to be coming, New Frontier and Dangerous Horizons. You get this fancy suit for your spaceman, but then you get these 2 outpost levels. Now, outpost levels are 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre plots of land where you can do just about everything you normally would in our original game mode, but without the threat of storms and enemy AI. You can zen out, test your architecture and crafting skills, and invite your friends to come and play with you. Now, they don't detail whether this almost like private server thing that you're going to get if you get an outpost level by buying the deluxe edition, or you can probably buy them yourself, I'd imagine, separately when the game comes out. They don't detail whether you can level up your characters in this area as well. Because you level up in Icarus by doing stuff, so killing stuff, building things, surviving, all that sort of stuff. That's how you level up. So it may be that you can level up in these relatively easy places to survive, these outpost levels that are designed as mini sandboxes, or it's going to be isolated. If it's isolated though, that's going to be a bit strange. They're going to have to unlock the talent and tech trees for you already. Or maybe it'll be you can only put your existing characters that you've leveled up into these areas, and they'll only be able to do what they can do in the other parts of Icarus. But I think that's very exciting as well. So we're going to have the PvE survival, prospecting, going on contracts, visiting different biomes at different levels of difficulty, part of Icarus, and then we're going to have the sandbox side of Icarus, which is in these outpost levels that you see here. That I guess, if you get the deluxe version, you're going to get a forest one and an Arctic one, and then you'll probably be able to buy ones for the other areas when they come out. So there we go. That, I think, is what Icarus is going to be all about. I think it's going to be great. I really enjoyed the first beta weekend. Rust for grown-ups is something that I've put down without the PvP, and it plays very well. It looks really good, and well, I can't wait to play some more. There we go. So what do you think? Put your comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. I will, of course, see you again soon.